Hello everyone and welcome to yet another casual review. Today I will be going way back in time to look at Mario's first foray into the handheld gaming market with Super Mario Land. This game came out even before my time. It was in 1989. I do, however, remember playing it at one point in time. I believe it was too difficult for me. I was probably like 4 or 5 at the time, but I do remember having the aid of the Game Shark. And for those of you who are too young to remember, the Game Shark basically you plug your game into the Game Shark, and then you plug your Game Shark into the system, and it just like unlocks all these cheats for you. So like if you were having a difficult time with Super Mario Land, it could like give you 99 lives or whatever, just ways to help you in that case. This game, Super Mario Land, it's kind of the black sheep of Mario games. Maybe not as much as Super Mario Bros. 2, but this game's kind of weird. For one, it doesn't really control like most Mario games. Mario feels really heavy and clunky. Your fall speed is just so fast. So if you jump, it's slower, but if you like just walk off the ledge, you drop super fast. And you don't have the slidiness, the glidiness as traditional Mario games go. Like, one of the ways that I play Mario is I will jump and then I'll just tap back to like line myself up with the platform. That doesn't really work for this one. Like, it doesn't like you to change direction mid-air. It just kind of like halts you mid-air. So you really have to be committed to your jumps. Another thing that's different is there's 4 worlds with 3 levels in each one, and these worlds are like based off of traditional Earth locations. So there's like an Egyptian level and like a level where you're in Japan, I assume, and then there's like Easter Island, so there's these big head statues in the background. I was kind of looking at the manual because I was curious, because I didn't get a lot of context just popping in the game and playing it, and this takes place in Sarasaland. So you may associate Sarasaland with Daisy, and yes, this is the first appearance of Daisy actually. Instead of rescuing Peach, you're trying to rescue Daisy. So that was kind of a neat little history lesson with Mario. It's the first foray of her. You're in Sarasaland, and the enemies are actually pretty different as well. Like, there's enemies that look like maybe a Goomba, but it's not a Goomba. And there's enemies that look like Koopa, but when you step on them, their shell explodes. And I was looking at the manual. Let me pull up the manual real quick. So I unfortunately don't have the actual physical manual, but I have this pulled up online. And it's interesting because the enemies don't have English names. It seems like they kept their original Japan names. So instead of piranha plants, it's called a Pakun. So then instead of Koopas, they're called Nokobon. And the description is a turtle with a bomb on its back. It explodes after you jump on it, so be sure to avoid contact. There's things that like look like Goombas, but they're called Chibibo, a timid mushroom that toddles along the ground. So it's just kind of an interesting look into that. And then there's enemies that look nothing like any Mario enemies that you're familiar with. Like there's flies with harpoons or spears, and then there's like these running Easter Island statues that just run frantically, and instead of thwomps, it's like these spiders drop from the ceiling. So it's just an interesting look, like an interesting difference compared to most Mario games. Also, instead of Bowser being the final baddie, it's like this alien ship. Let me reference to the manual again. Tatanga, the mysterious spaceman. The description is, this unknown space monster appeared suddenly from deep space. He drives the war robot Pagosu and attacks with scattered meandering rockets. And I just thought that was kind of funny because like the big baddie that is kidnapping Daisy in Sarasaland is an alien from deep space. Okay, like I wonder why we didn't see any more of him. Another one of the enemies, this is interesting because this is, I don't know if the word for chicken is the same in Japanese than it is in English, but there's an enemy just called Chicken, and it says a warbird kept by Tatanga. chicken meanders and glides towards Mario. One missile will defeat it. And I just thought, this is just chicken. He's just a flying chicken. I don't know. Maybe I'm easily entertained about this kind of stuff. Going along with that, there is a unique power-up to this game that I haven't seen in any other Mario game aside from Super Mario Maker 2, and that's the bouncy ball. This game is actually what that power-up is from, and it basically acts like a slow-moving fire flower power-up, but it can like ricochet, and then it can collect coins when it runs across them. So it's just kind of a fun little power-up that I'm surprised didn't make a return anywhere else. I guess that is kind of fun that they brought it back for Super Mario Maker 2. It's a nice little callback to a game that, you know, doesn't really get a lot of recognition outside of Daisy. There are also 2 like side-scrolling shooter levels where you're like flying a plane and you just shoot straight forward. I don't think I've ever seen that in another Mario game aside from Mario Maker as well. There wasn't color in the original Game Boy games. Instead of a green mushroom for a life, it's a heart. And then just little differences like that. Like there are superstars that make you invincible, but the music is kind of funny. It's like can you do the can da 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 da. You know, instead of the traditional star music that we're used to. I actually really enjoyed a lot of the background music in this game. Like there's some really fun chiptune-y songs that I could see myself setting like a ringtone to if I didn't have a stupid iPhone. Back in the day when I did have an Android, I could see myself making like a custom ringtone with some of this music because it is actually pretty catchy. Now, there is no save in this game, but you really don't need it because it takes about an hour to play through the game. I actually had to play through it almost 2 times because when I was at World 4, which is the last world, I bumped my game, and for some reason when I'm playing traditional Game Boy games on my Game Boy Advance SP, sometimes it can get a little glitchy and just short out. And so it was kind of disappointing because I was like 40 minutes in at this point, and then I had to start over. But, you know, a second time playing through is actually not that big of a deal because of the game's length. And then once you kind of get used to how the game feels and how Mario moves, you can kind of cruise through the game a lot faster. Overall, guys, this was just kind of a fun, short little look into Mario's more unknown history, especially this long ago, and if Nintendo doesn't reference it that much, then it just kind of starts fading into history unless it's just not in the public discussion that much anymore. And it came out so long ago, 1989. That was 3 years before I was born, guys. So I don't know, it's just pretty old, and most people probably don't know that Daisy is from this game. So just kind of a fun little look into the game. I don't think I would recommend it, especially if you aren't familiar with Mario. Like if you want an introduction to Mario, you're not going to find it here just because it's so weird and wacky compared to most Mario games. You know, I'd probably give it a 2 out of 5. It wasn't that fun, especially if you're not like a big Mario and Nintendo fan like I am. I probably wouldn't recommend it to most people. So let's stick with 2 out of 5. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you listening to just this fun little casual review. You know, I played it through a day, so I can really dish these videos out when it only takes me like an hour to play through a game. I appreciate you guys listening, and I hope you tune in next time. Talk to you later. Bye!